Ever pondered the number of individuals who currently put their faith in a divine being? A single divine entity, not the myriad gods of mythology, but the one creator, wise and capable, to whom everything owes its existence. This is the God that many religions across the world claim to believe in, a supreme being who has sent numerous prophets throughout history to steer humanity on the right path. Let's take a walk through the annals of time with the help of our friends at Y-Axis. Back in 1993, about 67% of the planet's population confessed belief in this concept of a single God. Fast forward to 2008, the figure had fallen to 53.4%. By the time we hit 2021, less than half of the world's populace, 49.7% to be precise, professed belief in a single God. And mind you, this statistic only accounts for individuals over the age of 16. Believers, regardless of which religion they subscribe to, pledge their faith in the oneness of this universal creator. Yet this single creator is worshipped through different religions, each with its own unique set of rituals. For some, alcohol is taboo, punishable by severe measures such as whipping. For others, wine is sanctified, consumed within the very walls of God's house. Some rituals demand sacrifices, followed by grand feasts in honor of these offerings. In some beliefs, premarital intimacy is a grave sin, punishable by death through stoning. Yet in others, there is no such prohibition. In Islam, believers bow their heads in the direction of the Kaaba, reciting hymns in unison at specified times. Yet for other faiths that believe in the same God, there is no such prescribed act of worship. In Islam, human blood is considered impure, and contact with it necessitates a ritual cleansing. Yet, no other religion that believes in the same God deems human blood impure. So we have a single creator in different religions and rituals. Isn't that fascinating? Now let's dive into the pool of rituals, shall we? Don't worry, no sacrificial lambs involved. Religious rituals and regulations, as diverse as the cultures they spring from, are fascinating to explore. Each religion, worshipping the same God, has its own unique set of customs and norms. The spectrum is broad, and the rules vary, sometimes dramatically, from one faith to another. Consider alcohol, for instance. To some, it's strictly off-limits, a taboo that carries severe punishments, including whipping. Yet, in other faiths, wine is not only allowed but sanctified, consumed in the very houses of worship where they commune with God. Then we have the rituals of sacrifice, a tradition dating back to prophets like Abraham. For some believers, this involves a glorious feast, a celebration of their devotion. But in other faiths, the shedding of blood, particularly of living beings, is considered a sacrilege. And let's not forget about sexual norms. Some religions impose stringent restrictions on premarital relations, with penalties as harsh as stoning. Others, however, have no such prohibitions, viewing premarital intimacy through a more liberal lens. Turning to Islam, we find an array of unique practices. Devout Muslims bow their foreheads to the ground, facing the city of Kaaba several times a day. They recite words like a unified hymn, a ritual not prescribed in other religions that believe in the same God. Blood in Islam is seen as impure. If a Muslim's blood touches their own body, they're considered tainted. They must immediately cleanse certain parts of their body with water, following a specific ritual to regain their purity. Yet this notion of blood impurity is absent in other religions that worship the same God. So one God, many rituals, like a buffet but with more rules and less food. It's a wonder how the same God could inspire such a diverse array of practices, isn't it? Or perhaps it just goes to show how we humans love to put our own spin on things, even when it comes to divine matters. Ever thought about bending and straightening in a certain direction at certain times? Well, some people do it daily. Yes, you heard it right. In the Islamic faith, which acknowledges the existence of the same God as many others, followers are required to bow their foreheads to the ground, facing the city of Kaaba multiple times each day at specific hours. Just imagine, from every corner of this vast and varied earth, Muslims align themselves in one unified direction and recite words almost like a harmonized hymn. Their prayer, or salah, is a physical, mental and spiritual act of worship observed 5 times a day. It's a beautiful sight, isn't it? This ritual, with its precise movements and recitations, is unique to Islam, yet it is performed in honor of the same God that other religions revere in their own diverse ways. Now let's delve a little deeper into the Islamic perspective on purity and impurity. In Islam, it is believed that human blood is impure. If a person's blood touches their own body, they are considered ritually impure. Every step they take in this state is believed to lead to sin and the curse of the angels. To cleanse themselves, they must wash specific parts of their body in a particular order, following a specific ritual. It's a profound concept, isn't it? The blood that courses through our veins, giving us life and vitality, is considered impure. Yet, this notion is unique to Islam. In other religions, the same God has not labeled human blood as impure, nor has it been suggested that angels curse a person covered in blood. One can't help but wonder, why did the Almighty, who created humans some 200,000 years ago, only decree blood as impure around 1400 years ago with the advent of Islam? Is it a divine afterthought? An update to the religious operating system, perhaps? So blood is impure, but only recently. That's like updating your operating system, but the system is religion. Imagine creating something 200,000 years ago and just 1,400 years ago, realizing you forgot to mention a few things. Now, let's ponder upon this. The Almighty, the grand architect of the universe, the one who crafted the cosmos with a wave of his hand, took a whopping 198,600 years to realize that human blood is impure. That's a lot of time, don't you think? But the story doesn't end here. The same God, in his infinite wisdom, decided that drinking alcohol leads to dementia, and thus it should be forbidden. But here's the real kicker. This divine prohibition came into effect only a few centuries ago. Meanwhile, our human scientists, with their limited lifespan and resources, have been making groundbreaking discoveries at a breakneck speed. They've split the atom, landed on the moon, and are now decoding the mysteries of the human genome. They've also mastered the art of trial and error, learning from their mistakes and refining their theories. And yet the Almighty, with his boundless knowledge and eternity at his disposal, took thousands of years to come to the conclusion that alcohol might not be great for the human brain. It's almost as if he's been operating on dial-up, while we've been zipping along on broadband. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't a criticism of God or religion. It's simply an observation, a comparison, if you will, between the pace of divine revelations and human scientific progress. Are we, with our finite minds and fleeting lives, really outpacing the eternal, all-knowing Creator in terms of discovery and learning? Or are these apparent divine afterthoughts a reflection of our own evolving understanding of the world around us? This is not a question of faith, but of curiosity. A curiosity that sparks the flame of knowledge and drives us to seek answers, to question the status quo, to challenge the norms, and to constantly evolve and grow. So God took thousands of years to update his terms and conditions. Talk about slow internet. Now here's the big question. Did God create us, or did we create God? Don't worry, we're not starting a heresy, just a thought experiment. This is the conundrum of creation, a philosophical puzzle that has been perplexing thinkers for millennia. If we consider God as the creator, we have to acknowledge an entity that was capable of crafting the vast, intricate universe and all life within it, including us. This divine architect, according to many, guides us, loves us, and sometimes perplexes us with a myriad of rules and rituals. On the other hand, if we assert that we created God, then we're looking at a different scenario. This implies that mankind, in a quest for understanding the mysteries of the universe, invented the concept of a divine entity, a construct to explain the inexplicable, to find solace in the face of the unknown, to impose order in a world that often seems chaotic. And while we're on the topic of creation and creators, let's delve into something a bit more earthly. The pharmaceutical industry, for instance. It's one of the most profitable sectors in the world, ever since the Industrial Revolution. Pills, potions, and powders promising to heal, to cure, to make life a bit easier. A creation of mankind, certainly, but one that's become a deity in its own right to some. And then there's the religion industry. Yes, you heard that right. Religion as an industry, a sphere that, much like pharmaceuticals, promises healing, comfort, and answers. But how profitable is it? Well, that's something I'll leave for you to research. So we circle back to the question, who's the creator and who's the creation? Is God a divine entity who crafted the universe and us, or is God a construct of human imagination created to make sense of our existence, or perhaps is it a bit of both? So who's the creator and who's the creation? That's a cliffhanger for you. And remember, it's not blasphemy, it's the start of a thought process.
Subscribe to the channel for more video, and please give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this.